afternoon to all. Today's topic, the continuation of yesterday's topic, that is Unit 3, Magnetism lesson. The force on a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field. So we are find out the values of the uniform magnetic field which is present, and we have to find out all the values, that is motion of a electron, revolving electron, like that. So we are find out the values. Now we have to find out a force on a current carrying conductor that is placed in a magnetic field, because in this current carrying conductor the charges are present. Charges means here the free electrons are considered as a charges. So that can able to, what is the reaction of this charged particles when the current is also move in the conductor, and also which is placed in a uniform magnetic field, that is the conductor placed in a uniform magnetic field when the current is moves through the conductor. So what is the force value? So that is the topic here. Let us assume that this is the conductor, that is current carrying conductor. The I is a current passes through this conductor and which is present in the uniform magnetic field. So here the force is produced, that is the force experienced by this conductor is equal to the Lorentz force which is produced each one of the charges which is present in this conductor, that is sum of all the Lorentz force of the charges of this conductor. So this is the concept. So now we have to find out the force value. Let's see what are the parameters are involved in this. So length be the total length of the conductor, and we have to take only the small element of length, that is dl. Here not referred that, but we have to take a small element dl. Then we have to find out a small forces on that element, that is a small segment of element df. Then we have to find out the force value on that. Next, a is the area of the cross section of this wire, and also I that can passes through this, and opposite to that I value the drift velocity, that is the electrons drift velocity is also produced. So the relation between I and the magnitude of this drift velocity, that relation we already studied in second lesson, that is electricity lesson. So we have to start from that equation. So I is equal to NEA V suffix D, Vd, that is drift velocity. From this equation, so we have to find out the force value on that. So let's see the derivation now. First I will explain in the order of book that they are given in your book. Next I will give you the notes and also explain the notes. You have to take it the notes in a separate note also. So first we have to write the relation between the drift velocity and I, that is current and drift velocity. So I is equal to NEA Vd. Next, when the conductor which is present in the uniform magnetic field, that is B vector, so that you know, and then the average force experienced by the charge, that is the charge represents here the electrons, that is a free electrons present in the conductor. So that can be the forces we have to take, that is a small f. So small f is equal to minus E. Instead of Q we have to refer the minus E. Minus E means electrons. That is equal to, you know that the magnetic Lorentz force value is Q into V cross B vector. So here we have to refer the electrons, that's why we take a minus E. Then also Vd is a drift velocity of the electrons that is present in a uniform magnetic field, that is Vd vector cross B vector. So totally small f is equal to minus E Vd cross B vector. Then we have to introduce, we have to already take a small element of length, that is a dl. So here n is introduced, that is small n and also capital letter N. Small n is the number of free electrons present in unit volume. So small n is equal to n by n, that is capital N by V. Here capital N means number of free electrons in the small element of volume. That is, it is a segment. So small n is the number of free electrons present in unit volume that can be represented as N by V. So capital N is the number of free electrons which is present in a small element of volume. So volume means area into length. So area into small element length is a dl value because the number of free electrons in a unit volume. That's why. So next small letter n, that is n is equal to n by v. V already you know that area into length, that is AL. Substitute that V value in the above equation. So what is the value of small n? Capital N divided by A dl. Then we want to find out the capital N, that is the Lorentz force on the small elementary section dl. That can be, the capital N can be represented as N is equal to small n A dl. And also now we have to find out the force value. So F is equal to, here the whole force value is equal to, F is equal to Q. Instead of Q, we have to substitute the value of, so instead of Q value, we have to substitute minus En. That is minus En, because here N is the number of free electrons in a small element of volume. So we have to substitute the minus E then N. Then only substitute the value of N value. And also the force is not a whole force value. The force acting on an electron. For one electron we have to find out the force value. That is, we represent dF. Let's see the derivation. So here, this is the notes. You just put it down. So force on a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field. First you write the relation between I and Vd. So I is equal to NeAVd. So that's the first equation. Next one, the average force experienced by charge in the wire. So the total average force experienced by the charge, total force value F vector is equal to minus E Vd cross B vector. So you know that already I explained you, small n is equal to capital N by V, and also capital N is also referred as volume, that is free electrons in small element of volume, that is volume is equal to A dl. So you have to find out the capital N value is, so small n into V. So small n into V value substituted. This is the capital N value. What is the capital N value? Number of free electrons in a small element of volume. So next one, the force acting on an electron. So the force acting on a single electron, that is referred as dF. So you are not write in the form of in the book. You have to follow this notes. Then only you have get a continued derivation for this equation. So the force acting on an electron, so you are not put in the F value, you just refer that is a dF value. So dF vector is equal to, here only you have to make a small adjustment, that is instead of Q you have to substitute minus E then into N also, into N, then Vd cross B vector, then is equal to minus E, substitute the value of N. What is the value? Small n A dl. So small n A dl V cross B vector. So here, so this term A, N, dl and also Vd, that are all referred as a I value. You know that E, A, N, Vd is a I value. And also dl is also present. So into dl. So I dl vector is equal to minus E, N, A, Vd vector, and also into dl vector, this vector, this value, dl value. So df vector is equal to, finally all the values are simplified, then all the values are is equal to I dl vector, I dl cross p vector. So then we have to find out the force value for that. So differentiation on both sides. So F is equal to IL cross P vector. So this is the force on a conductor, current carrying conductor of a length L that can be placed in a uniform magnetic field. So this is the final F value here. And also in magnitude you have to remove the vector form and write it. F is equal to So here L cross B vector is considered as BIL sine theta. Because of cross product, we have to introduce the sine theta value. So the final value of force on a current carrying conductor which is placed in a magnetic field is F is equal to BIL sine theta. So there are two cases out there when the theta value is 0. So when the theta value is 0 means when the conductor is first case, if theta is equal to 0, then the conductor is placed along the direction of the magnetic field. Then the angle between the conductor, that is conduct current and magnetic field, is theta is equal to 0. Then the force experienced by the conductor is also 0, because theta is equal to 0 degree. Substitute the value of 0 in the sine theta value. So FBIL sine 0 0, the whole term must be 0. So F is equal to 0. This is the first case. And also in the second case, if theta is equal to 90 degree. So when the conductor is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field, so what happens? The angle between them is theta is equal to 90 degree. So in this case, the force experienced by the conductor is maximum. So maximum value. So what is the maximum value? So F is equal to BIL sine 90. Sine 90 1. So this term can be 1 value. So this is the maximum value. So F is equal to BIL. So which is maximum. So now we have to find out the direction of this force experienced by the current carrying conductor that is placed in a magnetic field. So by using the Fleming's left hand rule. So by using this rule, we have to find out the direction of the force. So here we have to take our left hand. So make it the 3 fingers, the thumb, forefinger and middle finger. So the 3 fingers are mutually perpendicular to each other like this in this picture. So when the magnet is placed in this, that is the arrow symbol. The forefinger represents the magnetic field, and also the exact perpendicular direction, that is 90 degree for that current value, is also that can represents the middle finger, and the thumb shows the direction of the force experienced by this conductor. So this is the direction produced. The 3 fingers are mutually perpendicular to each other. So for both the magnetic field and also the current, the force value is also perpendicular to that. So this is called the Fleming's left hand rule.